4 minutes and 37 seconds. That's how close Texas's power grid came to catastrophic failure. That's what the head of ERCOT, Texas's primary energy grid operator, revealed yesterday. But even though the absolute worst case didn't happen, millions of Texans still have a lot of questions and some Texas-sized anger about what really happened. Brian Sullivan is outside Houston with more on what he is calling the perfect storm of events. And Brian, this is kind of an unbelievable story.
Yeah, Becky, I mean, it is unbelievable. When I say perfect storm, I actually mean the storm and then everything that followed after that. And we are here not only to talk about what happened. A lot of people think they know. We're getting to the bottom of it and then talk about the ripple effects and what happens next and will this happen again. All right, so let's go into that perfect storm idea if we can. Really kind of a 5-step process on what happened. Many conversations I've had over the last couple of days and the last week or so. Number one, the storm itself, okay? It's gotten cold in Texas before, but not for 5 days. And the length of the cold really is what everybody is telling me is what sort of whacked it off. Okay, then you've got generators who went offline. You got wind, gas, coal. Everybody started to drop off the grid. Then demand, because it was so cold, demand crept up. A lot of the houses, by the way, about 60% use electricity for their heat. They're not insulated. They're cranking the heat as the temperature drops. So generation capacity came off one by one by one. Demand goes up. Some of the power plants then started to be able to come back online, but there was a tight gas market. They either could not get gas at all, or they could not get gas at any kind of a price they might be able to afford. That was kind of the next step as well. That was the perfect storm. So let's talk about the different types of generation capacity, because a lot of finger pointing guys on what happened. Was it wind? Was it gas? It was D, all the above. All right, with natural gas, and it all comes back, by the way, to the same variable, which is the weather, water, and freezing. So with natural gas, you had what they call freeze off, is what they will say, which is the gauges or the pipelines literally froze. They could not get power or gas through the pipelines or to the power plants. What about coal? Well, coal requires huge amounts of water. The coal plant behind us has a lake next to it. The lake freezes. The actual coal stacks, the physical coal, Becky, that freezes in place where they can't get the coal up the conveyor into the power plant. And then, of course, wind. You had some fog when it was warmer before the storm began. Then it got cold. The fog condensed on the turbine blades, which then either froze the turbine in place or froze the blades to a point where the turbine would have been off balance had it started to operate. So they had to shut that down as well. A nuclear plant also shut down. So it wasn't one type of power generation, Becky, that got hit. It was all at the same time, and all, believe it or not, within almost 1 hour. And so that 4 minutes, 37 seconds yesterday at a hearing was how far they came to what they call a catastrophic failure, where it would not have been just a 4-day event, Becky. It could have been a 30-day event. The cleanup is beginning. It's actually going to be 80 degrees here today, but the problems and the questions are by no means anywhere near over.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.